Yeah, hello everyone. I'm by the name John Bidal Benjamin Commander, a student from Ines Rohingya, doing biomedical laboratory science, year 3. So I'm from group 2 members. So we have been given a task on applied immunology. So I'm going to be presenting from question 1 to question 5. So let's go and see them briefly. Question 1. What are immune complexes and what is their role in immune responses? The definition for immune complex are formed when antigen bind to antibodies, typically immunoglobulin like IgG or IgM. The formation of immune complex. There have like two formations. The first one is antigen recognition. Antibody identify and attach to a specific antigen, e.g. pathogens and toxin. Two, complex formation. The antigen-antibody binding form immune complex. The role of immunocomplex in immune responses. They are having like four roles. The first one is pathogen neutralization. The complex block the activity of pathogens by preventing their binding to host cells. Opsonization, immune complex tag pathogens for phagocytosis by macrophage or neutrophils. Complement activation. Immune complex activate the complement system, enhancing inflammation and pathogens destruction. Antigen clearance: they facilitate the removal of antigen from circulation. Question 2. How does complement activation interact with the immune complex? Complement system is a group of proteins that enhance immune response when activated. They can be activated via three pathways: classical, lectin, and alternative. So the interaction with immune complex. Classical pathway activation: immune complex antigen antibody bind to complement protein component 1q, initiating the cascade. Inflammation promotion: protein like C3a and C5a are released, acting as anaphylactoxin to recruit immune cells, neutrophils, and macrophage. Membranes attack complement complex (MAC). Complement activation leads to the formation of MAC, causing lysis of pathogens. Enhance phagocytosis: complement protein, e.g. like 3C3b, opsonize immune complex, making them for removal by phagocytes. Question 3. What mechanism helps clear complex from the circulation? The mechanism includes complement-mediated clearance. The C3b coats immune complex, making them recognizable by phagocytic cells like macrophage. Electrocyte transport: immune complex bind to the complement receptor on red blood cell. Erythrocytes carry immune complex to the liver or spleen, where they are removed by resident macrophage. Phagocytosis: macrophage and neutrophils engulf and digest immune complex in tissue and circulation. Degradation in secondary lymphoid organ: immune complexes are produced in organs like the spleen and lymph node. Let's proceed on question 4. Question 4 says, how do immune complexes contribute to autoimmune diseases? Immunopathology: in autoimmune disease, immune complex may form against self-antigens. These complexes fail to clear properly, leading to persistent immune activation. Their mechanism of contribution: chronic inflammation. Immune complex deposits in tissue, e.g. kidney and blood vessels. This triggers complement activation, leading to local inflammation and tissue damage. Tissue deposition: in autoimmune disease like systemic lupus erythematosus, immune complex deposits in the kidney, joints, and skin. Complement overactivation. Excessive complement activation may damage the host tissue. Frustrated phagocytosis. Immune cells fail to engulf large complex, releasing enzyme and reactive oxygen species that harmed surrounding tissue. Immune dysregulation. The persistent presence of immune complex misguide the immune system to attack healthy tissue. Before we continue, this is the last part of the presentation on question 5. What is the role of regulatory T cells or the Tregs in immune regulation? So, the definition for Tregs are specialized by subset of T cells responsible for maintaining immune homeostasis and preventing overactive immune responses. The key roles for Tregs are they're having like 6 roles. The first role is suppressing autoimmunity, prevent the activation of cell-reactive T cells. The second one is controlling inflammation, releasing anti-inflammatory cytokine, interleukin 10, and transforming growth factor beta to dampen excessive immune activation. The third one is maintaining tolerance, prevent immune response against harmless antigens such as those from food or commensal microbes. The fourth one is inhibiting effector T cells, suppress the activity of CD4 and CD8 effector T cells to limit tissue damage. The fifth one is regulating antigen presenting cells. The APCs modulate the activity of dendritic cells and macrophages to reduce antigen presentation and inflammatory cytokine production. The sixth role is role in pregnancy. Tregs helps suppress maternal immune response to protect the fetus. So this is the last part of the presentation. So let me give a quick recap of what we have just seen in the presentation, the one I just made. So we have seen what are immune complex and their role in immune responses. How complement activation interact with immune complex. Mechanism helps clear immune complex. How do immune complex contribute to autoimmune disease? What are the role of regulatory T cells or the Tregs? So thank you. This is the end of my presentation.